your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside ESPN's John Anderson, here's Alex Strofe.
The best 60 minutes of your life on your Tuesday evening. Alex Strofe, the legend John Anderson, the professor, with me tonight. And the bold claim he just made on Malik Willis being the team's MVP we'll get to. But in the 2 minutes I had to walk from the control room to the studio, which John is about, I don't know, maybe a 10-step walk, I received not one, not two, but three political text messages. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not going to sway me one way or another by bombarding me with phone calls and text messages. I can't wait for a week from today. All right. Got that off my chest.
Well, you don't have to let go, but if you're voting for the wrong person, then I'll call you and I'll get on you for the next 5 days.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And I don't blame you for that. But yeah, no, it's not. I'm going to vote. I just can't handle these telemarketers that won't leave me alone. So anyway, all right, let's go to that, John. You mentioned it there with Kyle Bruston-Nortman, who you joined there at the end of their show. Malik Willis, the team MVP for the Green Bay Packers, has appeared in about 2.5 games. You would give him the team MVP award. Explain.
The man is the man is responsible for 3 wins. Directly responsible for 3 wins. They have how many? 6.
They have 6.
So he's got half of them all by himself. Is Jordan Love responsible for the other 3 entirely? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Defense against the Cardinals with all the takeaways. The guy has, when people were, and listen, all of us were like, what are we getting here? Handled the Colts the next weekend, just destroyed the folks at in Tennessee, and then he pulls this one out because, let's face it, this thing was going the wrong way. They're up 27-17. Everything's good. Oh, now they're coming back. Now the guy's hurt. Now the defense decides to turtle, and they had, right away, LaFleur, I get it. We condensed the game plan. We made it as easy as possible, but they were in a spot. They couldn't hide it, and they needed something big. And lo and behold, the guy comes up, makes a great read, throws a dime. How many guys come in cold and miss that guy that's wide open? They miss him by 5 yards, or they underthrow him, and he's got to stop and turn around, and he gets it. No, that was it was a great ball. And that was the difference. Is the guy comes in, and if you look at him now, like his passer rating, even though he's not throwing it like he's Dan Marino or Peyton Manning, but the guy's got a quarterback rating that's it's usually reserved for like punters on fake punts or for wide receivers on triple options.
You're totally right.
And they're like 4 for 6 with 2 touchdowns, and it's 130, and this guy's doing this as an actual quarterback. If he was a college guy, he'd be like at 280 because their rating's even stranger than the NFL's. But he's been magnificent, and I don't know that they win the game as things were going. Maybe Jordan Love finds his way, or maybe the defense doesn't decide, oh my gosh, it's on us, and decide to get stage fright, because they certainly did that.
No doubt.
And for as much as we loved Halfley, I thought they really did. Like, they have just decided that they are giving up free points at the end of each half. And so it was not a great, when we did the show Sunday morning, getting ready for it, we're like, well, that number 3, what's the 3.5? What's the disrespect? Like, it just goes to show those dudes that build casinos with our money know what they are talking about.
They know what the hell they're doing, no doubt about it. Yeah, we were fascinated by that on Sunday morning, right? Because I think it opened at 5.5, and then it moved down. And I don't know if the people in Vegas necessarily anticipated Jordan Love exiting that game, but it was a heck of a lot closer than any of us expected.
Yeah, or they had, what was it? It was like 2. The spread was like 2.5 in favor of the Redskins, and yet they managed to win by 3. Like this. I am alarmed at how well they do, and that's why you should stay away from it. They're better than all of us. There's a few guys that really study it, but then if you do that, you don't have a full-time job. Your full-time job is sitting around Vegas, studying that, and God bless you if that's the way you want to make a living.
No doubt.
but they had it pegged. That's for sure. And as much as I want to really get on the McManus bandwagon, good for him. But like, thank you for making an extra point, like an old school one.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that kick was almost Carlson proof. It was almost Marvison proof.
I mean, that's the way to put it. The good news is he's made them all, right? And you have, at least I think, and maybe it doesn't sound that way for you, when it comes to Brandon McManus, you have more faith than you did in Anders Carlson and Braden Narvison when he trots out there, obviously now making back-to-back game winners.
By the way, one of my boys, he's like, after Carlson shows up in San Francisco and, of course, makes a kick from like 55, he's like, oh, look at him. He's making them now. I'm like, that's one. Did you just see what he did before the end of the game? Missed the 18.
Yep.
So, but yeah, like, of all the places for that guy to resurface, is like, sure, go ahead, make all the ones you want right now in San Francisco because you missed the one you needed back then. So I'm not forgetting. But yeah, McManus, he gets a little more leeway, and right now he's gained some of your confidence. Like there's been nothing that like if you just had one upright in the middle, he'd have hit it every time. Like he hasn't even been that off, right? Like he is just if the fairway was 3 yards wide, he's hitting it in the fairway. So. They certainly needed that. I'm not so sure I wouldn't have scored the touchdown. I like that Wilson sat down, like that was really smart, but I wouldn't maybe, go ahead and try to.
No, it was Chris Brooks, actually, John, who that would have been his first career touchdown, and he opted to slide down within the 5-yard line. So really heady play by him, but an unselfish play as well. It would have been his first career touchdown sliding in there. John Anderson, Alex Strofe with you here on the Homer Hour until 6 o'clock on ESPN Wisconsin. Let's go back to Malik Willis for a few minutes because I obviously there is a weird feeling this week, right? You have the bye coming up after the Lions. So if Jordan Love did not play this weekend, he'd essentially get 20 days off to heal the groin injury, heal the knee, whatever he needs to heal. He's got plenty of time to do that. Are you confident in the Packers' chances if Malik Willis is their starter Sunday? Because obviously the Lions are dogs, man. That's a really good football team. And playing your backup quarterback is certainly not ideal, but do you trust what Matt LaFleur has done with Willis so far this season in order to give them a shot against the Lions if he is to start?
I do. I think they'll have, if anything, you adopt some sort of philosophy that is going to shorten the game, right? You're not going to try to you're not going to try to see if you can score 50 to their 50 or any of those things that they have going on. But I don't know. I think the Lions right now are so good that I'm not so sure that Love or Willis, especially if Love is compromised, makes much of a difference. I think this is so much on the Lions to me seem, and again, just like I had last year, and I've said this, the fact that I keep saying the Lions are good is just a sentence I never thought I'd say in my life. Or that the Lions are really good is one I know I never thought I would have taken money.
And here we are.
But they're really, really good. And thank God Hutchinson's a can't play, or it'd really be a mess. But I just think they're so good that unless they do things to hurt themselves and give the Packers a chance, I don't know who it is. Like, I don't know what the number is, but I don't know that I'd be comfortable taking the Packers in any situation. That's how impressed I am with the Lions. And then Goff, when was the last time he missed a pass? Preseason? I think.
Yeah, maybe last year.
Yeah, and I don't know how much he played in the preseason, but I feel like the guy is completing 90% of his throws every week, and dudes are open. That's the other thing. Like it's like, I thought a lot of times Jordan Love, I'm like, okay, he made some really nice passes because there were a bunch of big open windows. And I watch Goff and I'm like, these guys just are running free. Like why are defenses only playing 9 dudes against these people? Or why are they rushing 9 and leaving 2 guys to cover 5 out in the pattern? That's how much it appears when they run around. But Goff's been really, really good. And so they just in general, as a realist, not a pessimist, as somebody who tries to be pragmatic, I just think they're a better team. Like they're the class of not only this division, and the division's good, right? That division should have 6, it should have like 22 wins if the Bears don't give that thing away, which is unheard of. And they, to me, are the best of the bunch by far.
Yeah, I'm with you. That doesn't mean the Packers can't get there, right? I mean, I think we saw it last season.
They won there last year when you didn't think they had a chance. They
Right.
beat the Chiefs. So, you can go and play your best game. You hop out on them early. I just guarantee you that team they're going to
continue to ascend too. And the Packers are also headed.
They're going to they'll bite kneecaps the entire way. So I don't know that if, you get another one of these.
Do you understand what that means? What is biting knee? I don't get it. I've never gotten it. It's a fun mantra under Dan Campbell, who's a fun guy, but I don't get it.
Yeah, it's kind of like my coach used to say, be loose as a goose and twice as shifty. I don't really know what it means, but it sounds great, and I try to do it every day. Men, go out there, be loose as a goose and twice as shifty. All right, coach. I don't know what that means, but we're going to do that.
Well, at least I know how to make that one make sense. I don't get biting kneecaps, so that sounds psychotic.
Well, yeah, I don't know that it's actually sort of a cannibalistic thing. I think it's strictly just we're going to continue to fight, and we will fight everywhere we have to. If we just got to gnaw on your kneecap to get you down, that's what we're going to do. So I think it's just a term for that we will continue to kind of like, is it the Black Knight was the one in Monty Python where he keeps losing body parts? He's like, come back and fight, you cowards. I think that's the same kind of thing. It's a flesh wound. And I feel like that's what that sort of is what he's getting at.
I think that might be the first time the term not a cannibalistic thing has ever been said on these airwaves. So nicely done by John Anderson. Yeah, you're always saying something for the first time on these airwaves. Alex Stroff, John Anderson, hanging out with you.
Are good.
What's that?
Like the Lions are good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, first time in decades. First time in decades, that's been said too. But man, they are good, and they are here to stay, no doubt about it. 6-1 Lions, 6-2 Packers Sunday at Lambeau Field. We'll continue to dive into that one a little bit. But coming up next, Jason Wilde, Green Bay Packers reporter for the Wisconsin State Journal. And of course, you hear him each and every weekday from 9 to noon on Wilde and Tausch. Will join us coming up next to give us the latest from Green Bay. John Anderson, Alex Stroff hanging out with you. It's the Homer Hour right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
It's back up now southbound on 41 from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Did get some word that there was possibly an accident at 41 and Good Hope, so careful with that. Northbound on 894 to eastbound 94 in the Zoo interchange, still closed, all because of a crash, so be careful with that. We got southbound 43 backing up from about Keefe all the way down through the Marquette, slow all the way down to the KK River. Westbound 94 slowing down from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound slowing down basically from 70th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, windy, a low of 66. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy, and warm. Evening and night storms with a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from ESPN Wisconsin. Biggest game of the year this Sunday up in Green Bay. It's Green Bay and Detroit, first place on the line. Green Bay Game Day will get the party started at noon. Join me, Gabe Neitzel, and Super Bowl champion Jared Bush live from Green Bay, leading you up to kickoff.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the shadow of Lambeau Field starting at noon on Sunday on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube page.
This political season, you'll hear a lot of noise. But this November, Walker Media Agency has the expertise and team to improve your marketing, advertising, and IT. Start at WMA2024.com. Paid for by Matt Walker and Walker Media Agency.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? Get a little slice of summer on the links with Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, a top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. With bays at just $35 an hour, Mondays through Thursdays. That summer feel is easily back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Have you been patiently waiting and waiting some more for the right time to buy your first home? Hi, it's John Reeds from Great Midwest Bank, here to remind you that our experienced loan officers can answer questions and provide insight every step of the way. And we're happy to make purchasing a home a little easier by offering a closing cost credit for qualified first-time buyers. Be sure to ask about down payment assistance, too. Find a loan officer near you at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Road, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week, even Sundays. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Jason Wilde time on the Homer Hour. Alex Strofe, John Anderson hanging out with you until 6 o'clock tonight, talking all things green and gold. We welcome in Jason Wilde with this. Just give us the latest on the quarterback, would you?
Yes or no? Green Bay Game Day with John Anderson, Brian Balaga, and Alex Strofe. Great to be with you.
Great to be with you as well. Now, I say once again, give us the latest on the quarterback, would you?
Don't tell me what to do. It's kind of bossy. Yeah, I think I'm my educated guess based on our conversation with LaFleur and based on the information that was reported by Tom Pelissero, which Matt LaFleur, I hope that didn't come out of our building. No, it probably came from the agents, but thanks for, why don't you just tell us? And then people wouldn't leak stuff, right? Yeah, well, hey, the scan was better than we had hoped instead of, I haven't talked to Flea or Nate at all. So really, it's 3 o'clock. Bottom line, it's not as bad as it could have been. It's not as bad as it looked when he finally succumbed to the pain of that injury and took himself out of the game. But, the only thing I can say for certain is that my suggestion, which was in the form of a question, of you got the bye next week. Is there any thought process to soft tissue injury, potential for re-injury? Don't push him this week, and then he'll be fully healthy by the time we play the Bears. And he said if he can go, he's going to go. Boom. So that took care of that discussion.
Well, as it should be. I'm with you with the coach all the time. Oh, you're right. It's your most important player that you're paying all this money. I haven't even talked to anybody involved with that. Totally. I'd be like you would say to your wife after, if one of the kids got hurt in a soccer game, would you go back? I haven't really talked to her. I don't know if she's fine or not. Well, I'll try to get back to you on Tuesday. Right? They do that all the time, though.
I'm intentionally avoiding the medical staff, so I don't know anything about my most important player's health.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't have that. I can't be armed with that kind of knowledge. How will I ever get the game plan ready?
I would rather you stand up there and say, I talked to Flea, I talked to Nate Weir, I know exactly what's going on with him, but our policy is to not tell you. And you guys can think I'm a jerk, and I'll say, I do think you're a jerk for saying that, but there's nothing you can do about it. It would be at least more honest, but again, I digress.
Yeah, it'd be a little forthright. So I was going to ask how volleyball sign-up went, but then the injury and the quarterback news, so we might have to wait on that if we have time at the end. But my contention is that Malik Willis is the MVP of this team. Are you buying that? It's not a yes or no. I just would like your opinion on that.
Yeah, so here's and look, having gone through Lutheran grade school and Lutheran high school, I feel like I took a little bit of I took some liberties, I'm going to admit, with my story for tomorrow's State Journal. But Malik Willis, you guys, I'm sure you've heard the quote by now. When he was asked about how do you feel about the impact you've had on this team, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just grateful for the opportunity given to me by God. Jesus did way more than I do, so I just lean on that thought. My transition paragraph after that quote. Okay, so Willis has yet to turn water into Miller Lite, heal Love's left groin injury, or feed a capacity multitude of 81,441 at Lambeau Field with 5 loaves of bread and 2 bratwursts. But he has undeniably been the Packers' savior this season. Like, I'm with you.
Wow. That's Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year stuff right there, Jason. Pretty well done.
We better get you a ballot. I think it costs you $50 to join the group, though, so I'm not sure you like me that much. The bottom line is John is right. Like, think about, let's just say, all right, they played 2.5 games without him. Let's say best case scenario, other than the fact that they've won all 3 games he's now played extensive minutes in, let's say best case scenario is you win one of those. So instead of sitting at 6-2, you have won one of the 3 games that Love has missed, and you're sitting at 4-4. This season looks a heck of a lot different. And if it really goes poorly, you're sitting at 3-5, and people are looking at you like people are looking at some of these other teams that are trying to stay relevant. And instead, the Packers are, according to the ESPN power rankings, the second best team in the NFC, which I agree with, by the way. And the best team right now is the team they're playing. So undeniably, he has been the guy who has saved their first half of their season. How much will those wins come in handy down the stretch? We'll have to wait and see. But there is part of me, not being a fan, that I am rooting for Malik Willis to start on Sunday and see what he can do against the Lions. Yeah. That is a storyline I'm intrigued by.
But in the hypothetical he wins, are you ready to take all the phone calls you're going to take Monday morning? Because the discourse would be bananas if Malik Willis is to beat the Detroit Lions, which, by the way, I like Malik a lot. I like this Packers team a lot. I don't think Malik Willis can beat the Lions.
Yeah, maybe not. I think we're at a point now where I have a hard time betting against him, but I think that's a completely fair position to take. And look, the reason why it takes a village to make Malik Willis as good as he's been, led by Malik Willis, right? He's made some fantastic throws. He's run, made some really good plays with his legs. He has avoided mistakes to a level that not even Jordan Love has this season. He has not thrown interceptions. He has run these offensive game plans with a lot of misdirection and fake handoffs and everything else without flubbing a handoff. So he deserves credit for that. The coaching staff who, again, we don't get to see 11 on 11, and I certainly wasn't at Titans camp, but in talking with some guys during the week, the last time, they saw advancement in his fundamentals and his arm strength and everything else just from the time he's had with Tom Clements, Connor Lewis, and Sean Mannion. Like, I don't know what kind of coaching he got in Tennessee, but I do believe in Tom Clements, and I think he's improved his passing form, and that has led to better accuracy. I think Matt LaFleur has designed, with Adam Stenavich, game plans that accentuate the positives and hide his shortcomings. Put it all together, that's how they've done this. Do I think they're capable of doing that against the Lions, playing them at home? I do. Do I think that there's a chance that the magic could run out and his carriage could turn into a pumpkin and they get beat pretty badly if he has to play? I think that's a possibility too. So, look, I'm just here for the story. Whatever it is, that's what I'm going to write. But I have been so impressed with what he and the people around him have been able to do that I just think it's one of the best stories in the league this year.
So as somebody who didn't go to a Lutheran grade school or a Lutheran high school or Catholic or any of the other stuff, I'm just kind of a paganist public school kid. That's brilliant writing. And every Monday I get the Mondays with Murray from his foundation. So we should send that to him. People don't use the word multitude enough. That's better than the crowd. I love the multitude. Like that's the kind of stuff that we have. What I'm alarmed at is like he can play mistake-free football. Why can't the other guy play mistake-free football? Right? If it's the same coaching staff, and maybe that's it. Maybe Jordan Love has got a little more stuff to him, and so you